Hello, how are you? May I ask for just a few moments of your time, if I may? I wanted to see if we could just have a bit of a chat in regards to the recent pictures that had been shown of Tom Cruise filming Mission Impossible 36 in the UK last week. Now, of course, it's the 8th instalment, Dead Reckoning 2, or whatever they're going to call it. And they did some shots, sort of back end of last year. And there was the strike, and there was all sorts of bits and pieces. It was stopped. And then this last week, he's been back, and he's been doing some aerial escapades. Now, you know how I feel about Tom Cruise. I don't say that. I don't say it in a derogatory way. I don't dislike the man. I think he does extremely well and makes movies that people want to go and see. That's without question. But you know that I believe, as the lead actor in the film and as the producer of the Mission Impossible pictures, it leaves, I think, the stunt professionals in a position where he can't be turned down. We've been through this before. But the pictures that we saw very recently are interesting because there's a combination of shots going on. There's a guy in the back seat of this. It's a biplane. He's in the back. There's a guy in the back who's an actor, right? And then there is a pilot in the front, but he's all dressed in green. And the purpose of that is presumably so he can be removed during the post. He's going to be removed for CGI purposes. He's in green. It's going to be a green screen shot. He will be removed. And Tom, who presumably will be piloting the plane for the first part of this, again, I haven't seen anything. You haven't seen anything. We're speculating here. But logic says that that's what's going to happen. He's going to be piloting, and then he's going to get up. He's going to get onto the wing, and he's going to try and get to the other aircraft, which is above him. All of this looks fabulous, and in the final movie it will look spectacular. But the lengths that TC goes to get these shots, I still think borders on extremely dangerous. Not only dangerous, but above and beyond what is required of an actor of his class. And I think that is the point more than anything else. It's not the fact that he doesn't deliver. He does. He delivers every single time. You got a Tom Cruise movie. It's always great at the box office. You know, it's always good for business. Tom is, as people have referred in inverted speech marks, they refer to him as the saviour of the movies. This has been documented. Bond fans, and I know there are many of you out there, we would like the kind of movies that he makes, the Mission Impossible movies, as Bond movies. If they could just tap into a little bit of that, that would be really exciting. Plus the fact he tries to knock them out as often as possible. That's another story. But the purpose here, and I think a great deal of this, is down to him being the producer. If he's just the actor, Wade Eastwood, who's the stunt coordinator, will go, we're going to W here, this is something you don't need to do. But what's happened over his tenure as Ethan Hunt is he has continued to push that boundary further and further and further, to the point where if he is not actually in the shot may not work. Now, if this was 30 years ago, I could see that would be massively important. the quality of CGI that we have now, the ability to create entire worlds, entire situations that look as real can be, and still require the actor to do everything for real, I think is very, very dangerous ground. Some of the photographs that we saw, he is hanging upside down from the aircraft, and not too far below him, all right, maybe to one side, but not too far below him, is the camera chopper. You know, you have to take all of these things into consideration. And I know they probably have. I'm not disputing that. I know that they wouldn't have allowed him to do it if they didn't think it was safe. But then there's also a part of me that says they would have gone, Tom, really, I mean, this is just, you can't do this now. This is just too much. And he's gone, well, I'm the producer of the movie. I'm going to do it anyway. That's where my concern is. We've seen these little bits and pieces, the videos where he says, see at the movies, and then jumps off the plane or does the skydiving. He flies. We know he flies. He skydives. We know he skydives. He drives fast cars. He rides motorcycles. You know, he rides horses. There isn't anything that Tom can't do, with maybe the exception of putting this particular role and his life as an actor / producer into some form of perspective. And I worry for the guy, you know. I am the same as all the other fans around the world. I can't wait to see the next Mission Impossible movie. I love the Mission Impossible movies. I think they're sensational, with the exception of the second one, but we've discussed that before. But I'm a big fan of these movies. They do exactly what they set out to do. They get you on the edge of their seat. They create mind-boggling action. And they keep delivering time after time after time after time. They are ticking every single box. It's phenomenal. And I'm thrilled for all of those stunt professionals who get an opportunity to work on these pictures. We saw in the last movie, Dead Reckoning, that there were a number of stunt performers who were cast in the film. They were playing characters. We saw Rocky, of course, at the end of the picture in the train. So, and Wade is very good at doing that. Wade Eastwood has definitely pushed that boundary and said, right, okay, this is what's gone before. Let's keep going and let's see if we push it a bit further. And he has. But he's had to do that with the instruction that Tom's going to be in the scene. You can do what you can do. You know, the helicopter stuff from Fallout, was it? Yeah, Fallout. He's hanging onto the bag. There's a wire on him, but he's hanging onto that bag. He drops. He misses the handhold. He hits the bag and bounces off it. And there was people on the floor back at the main station there, looking on the monitor and thinking, Jesus, we've lost him. He's bounced off the bag. We've lost him. It was only the fact that he'd swung directly under the bag that he was then able to climb himself back up and get back onto the bag, which is no mean feat by any state of the imagination. Just goes to show the strength, the guts and the determination of the man. But there is something very, very concerning about this. And you know, what he's doing at the moment, hanging underneath the plane, and there, where it doesn't look as though there are any wires here. He's doing handholds, you know. Not only is he up, 10,000 feet or however far he's up, but he's also travelling at a fair rate of knots, so being buffeted from both sides. You've seen that shot. What was that shot when he said, see you at the movies, and that he's sitting there and then the plane banks away? You know, try delivering dialogue there. He's doing that with it. He's got a mic on, but he's delivering it to a camera of another plane, possibly the other plane here. That's where they got the shot from. And then it going away. It's remarkable stuff. But is it too dangerous? I believe so. I believe that now, in this day and age, where we have the ability with all this extraordinary technology that we've got, with all this remarkable CGI quality stuff that we can do, you don't have to put the actor in that scenario. And I'm pretty convinced that even though when you speak to the stunt professionals and say, well, why don't you say something to him? You know, they're going to go, well, he's Tom Cruise and he can do it. You know, he's continually referred to as, you know, that he's almost a stuntman. He's not. He's an actor. First and foremost, he is an actor. He has trained at certain disciplines. I'm not taking that away. But his position in these movies is such that you can't mess about with these things. Not in that situation. If he falls from the aeroplane, you know, if and again, I refer to that moment in I forget which movie it was, but he was hanging onto the side of the aircraft as it's taking off, and he's saying to Simon Pegg, "Open the door, Benji. Open the door, Benji." Right? So look, don't worry. He's safe as houses. He's tied onto the side of the plane. Yeah, but the plane could crash. You crash the plane. He was safe until the plane crashed, and then that's it. That's over. Game over. I don't think in 2024, in this end of this 21st century, we should be taking those risks. Not when the technology is here, allowing those type of shots to be captured, you know, with the actor there. Do some establishing shots by all means. Very clearly he's going to be in the plane, but there are moments when surely this can be done from a CGI perspective and keep it as safe as possible. He shouldn't be doing these stunts. We have aerial specialists to do that. You know? He rides motorcycles. Okay. He falls off motorcycles. He's wired on. Okay. I'm not disputing that. He is wired on, and there's a couple of occasions, I think Fallout was a good example where, you know, that wonderful motorcycle chase and the oncoming traffic was mostly CGI'd, so he was fine. He was not a problem. He was just driving quickly from point A to point B. There is a moment in that chase where he must impact with a car and then go over the handlebars and land practically in frame. Okay, so he's wired. And he can be prepared to a point. But it only takes the landing, as he's proved himself, it only takes that one moment where you have a limb or a finger or something in the wrong place and, you know, he broke his leg jumping from one building to the other. We've seen it happen. Now, a prime example of that is if that was a stuntman, and that's what these guys understand. If that was a stunt double, they'd go, all right, take him away to hospital, right, bring in the next stunt double. We do it again. Because that's their job. Their job is to come in, do the job. If they can't do the job or they're injured for whatever purpose, they move them on and somebody else comes in and takes it because time is money. The actor comes in, does the job, breaks the leg, production closes down. It's an extraordinary scenario, and it shouldn't have to do that. Vic Armstrong, we've talked about him before on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, saved the production because Harrison was off having an operation, and Vic was in the studio, and Vic did all the studio stuff, and he's in close-up on a number of occasions. But he saved the production because they're pretty similar. They've always looked pretty similar. Editing-wise, you can get away with that cut there and then do this shot from over there. You've got a couple of cameras running at the same time. You'll get that shot there. You'll pick him up here. Then he comes back, Harrison comes back and puts all the close-ups done. It's there and done and dusted. And I appreciate that there will be people out there who are saying, well, it's a different world now, John. But it's not a different world. It's a different way of creating these same scenes. So, in my opinion, again, my humble opinion, but I'm sure there are people out there who agree with me, but in my opinion, there are ways of being able to get the actor up close, in frame, in the thick of the action, and get the scene done. And then, for those extremely dangerous moments, You then have the stunt people. You have the aerial specialists who can hang from the plane. But those CGI shots will still look better. We're not talking back projection anymore. This is not the 80s. You know, Bond movies were using back projection back then, and back then it looked pretty good. But now you can actually create real backgrounds and drop the actor in. And you can't see the difference. The technology is such that that's what it's there for. So, I just wanted to have a go and see if we can have a chat about that. If you'd like to make comments, comment down below. And we'll get on with life. And hopefully we'll get some more updates regarding the new Mission Impossible. But, Tom, stay safe, my friend. But remember, there are people out there who can do the job for you. You don't have to do this. And the prosecution rests. If you've enjoyed that, go and check out some of the other videos here. If you are not already subscribing, why not? Go on and do it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? And we'll see you next time for some more. Until then, it's bye for now.